off of there, and I put a track on it so you can know it is moving eastward. It'll be out of Shelby County pretty shortly. It looks like it's a fast moving system as of right now, but it's just packing a little bit of a punch. It is a tiny little cell. We've definitely seen cells a little bit larger than this. The wind speeds are less than 50 miles an hour. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of how fast this is going. And it looks like Piperton, it'll be in your area at 6:10 p.m., Rossville at 6:21 p.m. So like I said, right now, hail is our main concern. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can get another look at Shelby County. This one cell is literally right over Collierville, so it's not impacting the entire Metro Memphis area or Shelby County at all. It did move through South Haven a little bit. Our main concern as well are the storms that are coming behind this system. As I zoom out, there was a severe thunderstorm warning that was south of Little Rock. This one cell right here, which is north of Stuttgart, is definitely holding together very well. Also looking like some strong hail. They've issued several severe thunderstorm warnings for that storm, and that looks like it will be in the Mariana area very, very shortly, moving right through West Helena and Helena. So keep your guard up. Arkansas, it is headed your way. But I'm on the air right now for this storm that is moving through Collierville right now. I'll zoom in just a little bit again so we can get a street level view. We like to let you know exactly where this storm is impacting, because this is definitely not an area that is large. We're not looking at the entire Shelby County being impacted right now, even though we are in that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. Right now, we're just mainly focused on this one cell. So hail definitely could be a problem. This is a look at our wind speeds. We're not even seeing many wind speeds at all. The National Weather Service is saying that their radar is picking up wind speeds less than 50 miles an hour. So that is definitely very interesting. So you're not seeing a lot of winds coming with this storm. The main concern is that hail. And as you can see, maybe some hail right there near Highway 72 and Shea Road, moving near Bailey Station Road. I know we do have some possible coworkers that live in that area. So if you know anyone that lives there, I would probably reach out to them, let them know that there are some strong storms headed their way or right there over their house. And it's going to be headed towards Peterson Lake Road, Fletcher Road, Piperton, College Street, Peterson Lake once again, and hail is the concern. You have anything that's outside a car, try to park it in a garage if you can, maybe under a carport. I know that's hard, but definitely hail is that main concern here. This is a look at our hail radar, and you can see that big purple. It's a bright purple blob right there in the middle of your screen. That is where the main core of this storm is. I like to look at different things to give me an idea of what exactly we're looking at. And I'll zoom out just a little bit more, because our studios are here in Bartlett and it's not even raining here. So this one little isolated supercell is definitely packing a punch as it gets ready to cross 269, and it's going right across Highway 72 right now. Here's a closer look at our radar. Not much activity. We've been pretty much dry. Like I was saying in our first weather, is that we were anticipating a lot of heavy rainfall this morning, and unfortunately we just didn't see it. The system has been moving kind of slow, kind of doing what it wants to do, but we knew that in between the hours of around 6 p.m. and 11 p.m., that's when we could be seeing some of these stronger storms. And for the rest of this evening, our main concern with these storms will be hail as the storms continue to develop. They are kind of supercells. We're not looking at a situation like we saw at the end of March by any means at all, but it's definitely something that we are keeping our eye on. So I'm going to zoom in again. I'll give you another street level view and draw another track on it so we can keep our eye on it. I have been watching this little cell. It has developed a little bit more over the last 10 or 15 minutes. And with it, it's just been continuing to see some hail signs. We just got a report saying that there's some dime-sized hail in Collierville falling. So that's definitely right at the severe limit for our hail. So the National Weather Service doesn't just issue these severe thunderstorm warnings. They have a criteria that they follow. Either the winds are greater than 57 miles an hour or the hail is greater than an inch. And that's what we're seeing as of right now. And this little purple and black spot right here that you're seeing that I just circled on your screen, that is the portion of the storm that I'm keeping my eye on, because that could definitely be some pretty decent sized hail popping up in that area. So if you know anyone who is near Bray Station Road, Shea Road, near North Byhalia Road, Frank Road, definitely tell them to get inside at this time, especially if they hadn't been paying attention to the news or to the weather, because that rainfall is coming in front of this storm, but the hail is on the tail end of it, and then it's going to be followed by some more rain. So if you live a little bit south of Forest Hill, in Collierville, you might have heard some heavy rainfall, but that quickly moved out of here. As of right now, we are watching that hail core that is on your screen. It's moving a little bit north of College Street and Peterson Lake Road. So the one report that we have just says dime-sized hail in Collierville. So very interesting. Not really seeing a lot of activity with this storm. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6:45, so maybe around 30 more minutes here that we will continue to give you an update on this storm. I'm going to pull up some more information that we like to look at. I'll give you another look at our severe weather watch, what we are anticipating. This is a look at that watch that was issued in the last 30 minutes. It does include Shelby County, and it is going to be in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Here's a look at what you can anticipate over the next 15 to 12 hours here. We can start to see some of those storms really developing, especially near Tunica and Clarksville and Coahoma County. That would be that storm that's moving near Stuttgart. It looks like it's going to continue to hold on until around 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. We could be getting some more rainfall here in the Metro Memphis area, but it looks like all of the severe weather is going to be staying in the North Mississippi area, and then we'll be completely done with all of the rainfall by around midnight tonight. So I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to keep you all safe and kind of ease your worries about this storm. It is tiny. We've definitely seen a lot more stronger cells per se, but it says it wants to do what it wants to do. That purple is really deep in there, and that is one of the things that I'm going to keep my eye on. And I'll put another track on there so you can see. You can see that little black dot. I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. That little black dot that's moving over Bray Station Road right there, that lets me know there's definitely some possible hail there. And our hail detector is definitely picking up some just a little bit north of there. So John Ridge Road, right near Byhalia Road, near Sugar Lane. You're right there in that sweet spot for that hail. If you take a look at our hail path, that lets us know how much hail has fallen. Our radar is picking up that there has been quite a bit of hail in that area, and it is moving eastward through Collierville. So this is not too bad of a storm. I don't want anyone to freak out. Hail is damaging to property. If you know anyone that is outside, you definitely want to tell them to move inside if necessary. So it's definitely, you know, not too bad of a situation. I know, Richard, you're still here with me. So, you know, it's not horrible, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning, and the National Weather Service issued that because of that hail size. And that's what I'm really keeping my eye on for this storm right now.
Especially Shelby County, when we have that severe weather, we like to stay wall to wall just so you can track the storm minute by minute as it progresses through. And hopefully this one won't be in Shelby County much longer. But yeah, the deep purple there, you don't see that very often when you go through these storms for us.
No, you really don't. And that is, you know, concerning. Hail is just one of those things where you just kind of have to watch it fall from the sky to really see what's happening. The good news is it's not looking like something that happened in Texas yesterday. If you've been paying close attention, if you watched the national news right before we came on, you saw that video of that tennis ball and baseball size hail. We're not looking at that right now. Right now it looks like it's just dime or pea-sized hail moving through this storm, but not too bad. It's not anything that, you know, could injure a person, maybe do some property damage at the most right now.
It is strange that we would have just this one isolated cell, isn't it? I mean, usually it would be encompassing most of Shelby County. Exactly. When we have a thunderstorm warning like this. What causes that?
Well, sometimes, you know, part of the cold fronts that come through, the heaviest of the rain is staying to the south of us. So that is definitely part of the difference with this storm. The heaviest of the rain is staying to the south of us, so we're seeing these supercells kind of develop, just pop up outside of that main line of storms. When you look at that severe weather outlook, we are in that level 2, but there's also a level 2 for portions of Florida and Georgia, and they saw some tornado warnings today. We're not looking at a situation where, you know, a tornado can be developed because the winds aren't going to be that high, but definitely looking at some possible hail. We just got another update. They updated the hail size for that storm, saying that it is around an inch for radar indicated hail. So it's continuing it for Shelby and Fayette County until 6:45. It's barely hanging on to Shelby County. It'll be out of Shelby County before we know it, but it is still going to be moving through Fayette County. So if you know anyone who lives in that area, you definitely want to make sure that they get a heads up. I'll put a new track on it while we are still tracking this storm, and I'll put it. The great thing about this is that the winds are less than 50 miles an hour. And whenever you see that, that lets you know that the storm is not very strong. High winds are what usually generates those tornadoes. The temperatures aren't that warm outside, which is great because that also would kind of fuel these storms. They continue to push eastward. As of right now, this is it. Hail is our main concern with this one little storm. But I do want to back it out because I have been keeping my eye on this other storm that's moving through Arkansas. And as you can see, if I change my radar view here, we use multiple different tools to let us know exactly what's going on. But there are more storms coming behind it, and they also look like they are in the isolated supercell type of a range, and that is definitely moving towards our viewing area, but it's very slow moving. This storm is, and I'll move it over just a little bit so we can see what's happening. All of this is east of Little Rock, Arkansas. And this is kind of the storm that we're really watching for. Also, same threat, hail. The winds are a little bit higher in these storms. We have not seen any tornado warnings issued for these storms, which is good. We like to watch the history of these storms to see how they've been developing, to see what to anticipate. And we haven't gotten any storm damage from these storms either, just possible hail. If we take a closer look, there is another storm that looks like it's trying to fire up there in Tate County, just a little bit south of DeSoto County, and I'll zoom in there. Some of these storms, because it has not rained in this area, could get stronger as they continue to push eastward. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to cut in unless it is for Shelby County, but hopefully you are, following us on social media at ABC24 Memphis if you live in any of these areas so that you can get that update and you can know what's going on. If there is a severe thunderstorm warning issued for the rest of our viewing area, we'll definitely send you a notification if you want to download our app. This is a great time to get our app. It is free in the App Store as well. And it's definitely a great tool to have. You can also text app to 901-321-7520. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit to see what that dinging was because it has not updated just yet on my end. So this storm, that hail size is definitely a little bit more concerning. This is going across Crossroads and Raleigh-LaGrange Road, Kirk, near Chulahoma Road. All of this is just one isolated cell here in Shelby County. And most of us in Shelby County are dry right now. So a very interesting situation that we're seeing here. Oftentimes we see that the entire radar is filled with that green and yellow and red, and you're trying to point out exactly what you're looking at. But this cell is interesting. We're only seeing one little supercell, but it is definitely packing a punch right now. Here's a look at our hail radar. You can see that white spot. Also another good indication that there's hail. As we take a look at our hail path, this storm is moving a little bit northeast, so maybe going towards the Oakland area in Fayette County, a little bit towards Somerville as well. About to cross 269, the strongest part of that storm. So some of us are already seeing some rainfall, but that doesn't mean that you are seeing any of those, hail droppings from the sky. We've only have one report of dime-sized hail. Radar is indicating around an inch-sized hail, and if I put on what we call our threat tracker, it lets us see multiple tools that I'm using right now are definitely indicating that this is definitely a hail threat for this storm, and it goes into effect until 6:45, and it does include Shelby and Fayette County here in the Metro Memphis area. So just hold on with us. I know that, most of us are thinking it's not even raining here, but it's raining somewhere, and it's causing some possibly heavy rainfall in that area as well, and some pea to dime-sized hail being reported with this storm. Now, a lot of times you won't see them issue, but whenever the National Weather Service gets kind of an inkling that the hail could be damaging, they go ahead and issue that. And now we're seeing quarter-sized hail in Collierville. So a lot to take in there. I'm going to go back and show you all. I have a graphic that I like to show you to let you know exactly what kind of hail sizes we see here in the Mid-South and what to anticipate and what you can expect, because we say, you know, dime and nickel size hail, but that all could be very, very confusing at times. So here's a look at what hail sizes actually are a concern for us. So as you can see on your screen, there's pea-sized hail, which is very, very tiny. But once we get up to quarter-sized hail, which is around an inch, that is severe. So we finally had our first actual report of quarter-sized hail in Collierville. So that's definitely some damaging size hail. The hail has definitely increased. When I first started watching this storm, it was very small. It was moving through DeSoto County and Tate County, and it was pea-sized hail. Now we've seen it escalate to quarter-size hail. We don't want it to get to ping-pong-size hail. And if you've been watching the news very, very closely, you saw in Texas that there was tennis to baseball-size hail. You definitely don't want hail that large, because that is definitely going to be causing some major damage to anything that you have outdoors, including livestock. We saw that there was a bull in that video. Definitely your car. And unfortunately, maybe even your home into your roof. Here's another closer look at this storm system. This is one isolated supercell that is unfortunately just wreaking havoc over one area. I like to do the street view so that we can know where it's coming, just in case, you know, you might be seeing some rainfall. So if you are in Macon Road, Rossville Road, near New Bethel, moving near Raleigh-LaGrange Drive, you definitely want to make sure that you're being weather aware right now, because this strong hail will be headed your way. I'll pull it up just a little bit there. It's amazing to me, because like Richard was saying, we really don't see a situation where we're looking at one isolated storm. We usually are seeing multiple storms, multiple rounds of storms. We will definitely see if we can continue to work on getting some reports. We're getting some reports of hail, so we're going to work on getting some of those photos to you. If you see hail, we do not recommend you go outside. Hail is one of those things where you could look out your window, but don't put yourself in harm's way trying to send in that cool money shot video. Just let us do all of that. You guys stay in the house. But this storm is definitely producing some pretty decent sized hail in the Collierville area. Before you know, it will be out of Shelby County. It's just unfortunately just holding on just a little bit. And I'll zoom out just once again, because you're probably wondering what's going on. Why aren't we doing the rest of our newscast? Well, it's because we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County until 6:45 this evening. Most of us pretty much dry here in the Mid-South, but there's more rainfall coming, more strong storms coming for Arkansas, as well as North Mississippi that I am keeping my eye on. There's also this one little cell that is trying to develop in Tate County and move through DeSoto County as well. It's continuing to kind of develop just a little bit. And if I put our Barron button on, that lets us know what our threat tracker are. And you can see in Tate County, there's a little bit of hail there, but just not enough for that severe thunderstorm warning, which is great. And this is another thing that we use to let us know, hey, is there any shear? What's shear? Shear is rotation. That's how we are able to tell if there is any rotation for a tornado. Great news, not seeing any shear for this storm. And I know a lot of us are kind of on high weather alert because of what we've been through in the last few months here in the Mid-South. But I'm here to tell you, as of right now, our main concern, especially with this one little storm that is a little bit north of Collierville now, looking like hail. And that was a new scan that you just saw happen there on your screen. That white that you are seeing, and I'll circle it for you so it's a little bit easier for you to see. That is where we're looking at that possible hail to be falling at right now. So if you are in that area, go ahead and get inside. If you know someone who might be cutting the grass in Somerville or headed towards Whiteville, tell them to come on inside, because there's rainfall coming and a possible severe thunderstorm that is headed our way. For the rest of us, we are in that severe thunderstorm watch, not a warning, but a watch. It's important to know what that is. A watch is just telling us that the conditions are right for severe thunderstorms. And as you can see, we have that one in Shelby County right now. Every county that is in pink, Cross County, Crittenden, St. Francis, Lee, and Phillips in Arkansas, Shelby and Fayette counties in Tennessee, Tunica, Coahoma, Quitman, DeSoto, Tate, Panola, Marshall, Lafayette, Benton, and Tippah. You guys in North Mississippi are looking at that severe thunderstorm watch. So it's definitely a situation where you don't want to let your guard down at all. And here's a look at our regional severe thunderstorm watch. As you can see, there's plenty of watches in Florida, like I was telling you. They are getting the bulk of this storm system and the bulk of this cold front as it comes through. As you can see, the last few days, we've just been a little bit below our average of 75 degrees, and it's because we're just kind of having a battle of the seasons right now. Old man winter doesn't want to let go, and the spring doesn't want to really get kick-started, so our temperatures are staying below average for right now, and as they try to warm up, we start to see some of these storms form. So that's another reason why we always try to encourage you all to be weather aware at all times, especially during that season change. I'm going to put another look at our hail path. You can see it's holding on strong. So if you're in that Collierville area, I'm sure that you are definitely seeing possible hail reports in that area. As of right now, it looks like quarter-size hail has been reported in Collierville, and also some dime-sized hail. Quarter-size hail definitely damaging, around an inch. That's what size hail that you are looking at. And as you take a closer look at our hail size, there we go. The lighter purple there that is right there near Crossroads, that lets us know that is the larger hail size area. So if you know anyone in near Fisherville Road or Kirk, near Chulahoma Road, that is a little bit close to Collierville, you need to make sure that they are aware that this storm is definitely continuing to push and produce some severe sized hail in this area. So we're keeping our eye on it here. Here's a look at our severe weather outlook for today. We are in a level 2 for those strong to severe thunderstorms. They issued this right around lunchtime today. And because of these storms that are producing larger size hail, that's why they went ahead and they issued that. And if I zoom out just a little bit more, you can see that we're not the only ones in a level 2 today. Fortunately, we haven't had to deal with any tornado warnings or anything at all. They did have to deal with some there in Florida as well as portions of Georgia, but we have been clear from any of those. Our main concerns here in the Mid-South, definitely hail size. Here's a look at that. This is our hail threat. So when they issue those severe weather outlooks, we also get a look at what we can anticipate as far as storm threats are concerned. You can see on your screen there is a yellow and a brown. So that's a level 5% and a 15%. Whenever you're in that 15% hatched area, that lets you know that, hail is definitely probable for that area. And that was another reason why they went ahead and issued that severe thunderstorm watch. It does expire at 11 o'clock tonight, and I do think that all of the rain and storms will be gone by that time. But until you get there, you definitely want to make sure that you are being very weather aware. Here's a look at our wind probability. We're at a 5%, which is not too bad. That does let us know that we're not really going to be seeing any tornadic activity, really. You can see we're on the lower end of that. That green on your screen lets us know that we are at a 2%. That is very low. Doesn't mean it's a level 0. But it is a very low chance for us to see tornadoes in our area. Let's go back to the radar for you. Here's a look at it once again, a little bit closer to home. I'll zoom back in on this severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be in effect until 6:45, so around 15 more minutes. And because this storm is still continuing to produce hail, I don't think that they're going to expire it early, unfortunately. So just bear with us. We'll be off the air soon, but if you live in Fayette County, just heads up, I would just continue to be weather aware. If you have a weather radio, this is a great time to make sure that it is plugged in and ready to go. This is just one of those storms where you're looking at some damaging hail. So you have anything outside that, you might want to protect, you definitely want to get it out of the elements at this time, even if it's not really raining in your area. I'm going to change my radar view once again to take another look at these storms that are moving through Arkansas. Unfortunately, they are moving very, very slow, but as you can see on your screen, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in that area, also producing possible hail, as you can see as I put on my threat tracker for those storms. So hail, definitely a concern for those storms. We haven't seen any tornado warnings for these storms, and we watch these storms for hours. This is what we do. We just make sure that you guys are going to be as safe as possible. And as of right now, it looks like hail is our main concern. Even to the south of us, near Columbus, Mississippi, they are also looking at severe thunderstorm warnings in that area for the same thing, unfortunately. So this is just one of those days where we're not really seeing widespread heavy rainfall. We're just seeing these isolated supercells that are unfortunately just wreaking a little bit of havoc on us. And as we look at this storm kind of develop over the last 15 minutes, you can see that heavy rainfall is out in front of the storm, but on the back end where you're seeing that deep purple, a little bit of black there, moving over 269. That is the portion of the storm that we are looking at for that hail to be located. So if you live in Oakland, you definitely want to go ahead and give yourself a heads up. This is right near State Route 194, Wilbourn Road, Sellers Drive, Clay Pond Drive, as well as Warren. It's moving south of Hickory Wythe. So make sure that you're getting a heads up here. Still in Shelby County as of right now. This storm does not expire until 6:45. I know we are working on a possible video of that hail that was in Collierville. So a lot going on in the Mid-South. If you're not getting any rain right now, we don't want you to let your guard down by any means. That doesn't mean kick your feet up. That does mean that you need to be paying close attention to the weather and close attention to any outlet that you have. Like I said, this is a great time to go ahead and download our app because it is free in the App Store. Okay, so that is a new severe thunderstorm warning continuing for Shelby County until 7:15 tonight. So they have extended that warning until 7:15 tonight. So Richard, it's definitely a situation where we're continuing to monitor. I think the problem is this storm is just moving so incredibly slow as it moves across Shelby County right now.
Well, I was going to ask you to explain that to me. Why extend it by a half hour when it looks like it's just about to clear Shelby County?
Right. So they want to make sure that it is covered all the areas that it can. So if you take a look at the new box on your screen, it does include area that is not even raining. So Arlington is included in this. And so I'll drag it up just a little bit there so you can see exactly where that new warning is issued for. But it's until 7:15 tonight. But you're right. It's not that big of a storm, but they want to just go ahead and kind of warn it for those people that live in that area because the hail size have been so large. That 1-inch size hail definitely a problem for anyone that could be living in that area. Now, you know, we see these storms kind of develop for a while, and it has gotten a little bit larger. They're saying that they do have the video of the hail in Collierville. So let's take a look at that now, if we can. That would be great. What you're seeing there, let me see if I can take a closer look at that just a little bit. It is outside of, it looks like a daycare there in Collierville. You can see it kind of bouncing off of the metal there on your screen, and that's definitely quarter-size hail. So that's the kind of hail that we watch out for. That's the hail that we, try to warn about. Definitely a cause for concern there. Here's another look here. You can see the winds are very low. 20-mile-an-hour winds. That's why this storm is moving so slow. That's another reason why they extended it, Richard, until 7:15. When winds aren't high, it doesn't push these storms faster, so they just kind of linger around and they move very, very slow. Those storms that are moving through Arkansas right now, I've been watching them since around 4:30 and they haven't really moved much at all. So that's another reason why sometimes we get that flash flooding, because if the storms aren't moving very fast and they're kind of just lingering in the same spot, that's when, flash flooding is possible. So if you live in an area, especially in that Collierville area right now, or near Oakland at 6:55, and you know that your home usually takes on a lot of water, or you live in a flood prone area, you definitely want to make sure that you are weather aware at this time. They also did include Fayette County for this new severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. So a lot going on, Richard, but all because of this one little tiny cell.
Well, you know, we don't get hail a whole lot in this part of the country, honestly. We don't really have to deal with it very often. I can tell you, pea size, dime size, you really don't have to worry about that too much. You start to get to quarter size hail or larger, that's when you can start to see damage to the car, when it can actually hurt you if it hits you.
Right, exactly.
And you unfortunately have to be outside for some reason. Yeah, it can get pretty ugly.
It can, and you're right. We don't usually see hail as our main threat here in the Mid-South. Usually we see hail as something in Texas and Oklahoma. I can't tell you how many times we've been seeing those really large hails falling from the sky, like tennis ball, baseball size hail, 2 inches falling from the sky in Texas and Oklahoma. And fortunately for us, we don't really see that, but we can see that quarter size hail, especially in the summer and during season change. That's when we really start to see these storms kind of take form and really, unfortunately, produce a little bit of damage in the Mid-South. And you know, as I back out just a little bit, because I know a lot of people are thinking, wow, it's not even raining here, but we are watching this short-lived system. It's supposed to be out of here by 11, but honestly, as I'm watching this kind of unfold, you guys are watching some of the things that I look for in these storms. It's moving so slow that I wouldn't be surprised if they might have to extend that watch, because it's just, these storms are not moving very fast at all. And because we haven't seen much rain throughout the day today, unfortunately, some of them could stay, what we say, stay together, so we can see the ingredients for possible hail continuing to impact multiple places in the Mid-South. As of right now, it does look like North Mississippi will be getting the worst of it, but as you can see, this one rogue storm has really just taken off in Fayette as well as in Shelby County, and it is barely hanging on to that Shelby County line, Richard, so we're almost through it, but they might, you know, cancel Shelby County out of that, but they might keep Fayette County in there. So Fayette County, unfortunately, this one little storm is going to continue to kind of wreak havoc in one small little spot. It will continue to push, looks like northeastward throughout that area. And I'll put another little track on it. It's really not much. Oakland, the hail core of this storm, even though you're getting some rainfall, the hail core of this storm will be headed your way at 6:57. That's when it will be at your doorstep. So if you have any cars that are parked outside, try to bring them in. As you can see from that video that we had in Collierville at that daycare, you can see that the hail is falling, and it doesn't look like it's making any impact on the windows there, which is great news. But if the hail continues to grow, in a sense, if it gets any larger, we will definitely see that do a little bit of damage. Here's another look at that video in Collierville. Hey, you can see the hail pouncing off that window pane there. If you take a really close look at your screen, it's definitely falling out there. There's no doubt about it. And that's another thing that we look at. You know, whenever you all send in those videos and stuff to us, it helps us know what is going on outside. So, you know, as I put on our threat tracker, I can see that there's possible hail, but this is the radar. So confirmation of hail reports definitely help us out, but we do not encourage you to go outside. That person did take that video at a safe distance. That's why you have to kind of strain yourself to see it, but we do appreciate when you do that at a safe distance, when it is safe to you. Don't put yourself in harm's way to get videos like that. It's just unfortunately not worth it. That was the latest scan. As you can see, it just changed a little bit. So it looks like the hail core is diminishing just a little bit. I don't want to say that we're in the clear at all, because unfortunately this storm is moving just so very, very slow. The first severe thunderstorm warning is going to expire here in around 2 minutes, which is good news. But that second one is going to be hanging on until around 7:15. I wouldn't be surprised if they did take Shelby County out of that once it crosses that county line. Hopefully it will move a little bit faster. As you see in that latest scan there, it did kind of move just a little bit. Hey, Oakland, once again, heads up, that severe core is headed your way. And the storm is moving northeast right now, so that's kind of the good news that we're seeing. I'm going to clear this little black tunnel off of your screen so we can get a little bit of a better look, and I'll zoom in to street level to let you know. State Route 94 in Oakland. A heads up, this storm is headed your way. Riverdale Drive, Murrell Street, Chickasaw Ridge Road. You all might be getting a little bit of pea-sized hail there. McFadden Drive, as well as State Route 194. Tomlin Road, you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning. So definitely a lot going on. Even though you might not be included in the warning, we are mostly all under a watch. And I'll put that back on the screen again for you so you all can see exactly where this watch is located here in the Mid-South. Pretty much everywhere besides Dyer County, Crockett, Lauderdale, Tipton, Haywood, Hardeman, McNary, Alcorn, and Poinsett counties. Everywhere else in that pink on your screen included in this severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. It is very important to know the difference between a watch and a warning. And just in case you don't know, you're a little bit confused as to what's going on, I'll put that information on the screen for you as well. A watch means that the conditions are favorable for severe weather. You need to know where to go to seek shelter and have ways to get warnings. We always say that just in case, for some reason you lose power, you definitely want to make sure that you are prepared. Now, when a warning is issued, you want to take action. You want to make sure that you are seeking shelter. So like we're telling the people that are a little bit north of Collierville where that severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. You want to make sure you're in the house. You want to make sure you're away from those windows. Even though we're not looking at a tornado per se, make sure that you're seeking shelter. So definitely keeping our eye on it. There's talk right now, the National Weather Service, with them trying to decide if they are going to remove Shelby County from this warning. Sometimes they issue an abundance of caution, and we do appreciate that. And we want to make sure that we stay on until we are feeling safe for you all as well. Here's another look at our severe weather outlook for today. We are in a level 2 for strong to possible severe weather. As you saw, that one severe thunderstorm warning as we go back to our radar, still hanging on to Shelby County. They should be canceling Shelby County out of this warning. And honestly, if they don't in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm probably going to turn it back to regular scheduled program because Shelby County will be out of this warning. This storm here, though, that was moving through Tate County, taking a little bit of a shape here, it's moving very slow. 17 miles an hour. That's probably, to be quite frank, one of the slowest moving storms I have seen. So not definitely still under that severe limit. All of these storms, if there are any more severe thunderstorm warnings issued for this area, it will be because of the hail size. And I'll zoom out just a little bit so you all can see what we are watching for. That weather that is moving through Arkansas right now, that is where we are seeing the severe thunderstorm warnings and the strongest of the storms. Once that moves through, we'll be completely done with the storm at that time, which is good news. But as of right now, we are still watching and monitoring this one little storm that is mostly in Fayette County. I'm honestly going to go ahead and make the call because we are not really looking at anything here in Shelby County. But I'm going to keep my eye on this storm and on this weather. But there is a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Shelby County, but mostly for Fayette County. We have seen multiple reports of 1-inch size hail, and we even had a video of hail in Collierville. So if you haven't seen any rain yet tonight, just make sure that you're being very weather aware because hail could be produced with any of these storms. As of right now, we will return you to regularly scheduled programming. And if there is another severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, we'll hop back on and let you all know. But for now, we'll return you.